Welcome to My View On, a series of podcasts where experts in the industry give their personal view on some of the big topics making waves in the media. All of the views are the experts' own, providing a fresh look at key issues facing the financial industry. Now, what constitutes fair charging? The Retail Distribution Review, or RDR, saw the introduction of fairer charging for investors. But what did this actually mean? To discuss this, I'm joined by Paul Speight, Head of Strategic Accounts at James Hay. Paul, welcome. So, what does it mean?
Well, it means a number of different things, but predominantly the industry has focused on a percentage-based fee model. You will see regularly, it's probably started with stakeholder where it was a 1% charge, and latterly we have auto-enrolment where it's a 0.75% charge. Now, the question that I think we are wrestling with at the moment, and it's quite different to some of the models that we see perhaps in the US, is what does that actually mean to investors? So they know that 0.75 is less than 1%, but when you convert that into a monetary amount, let's say it's £1,000, that feels a lot more real than saying it's a 1% charge. Now, the question that I'm thinking about here is, whilst we have this, it's not a race to the bottom, but whilst we have perhaps a reduction in fees being in the customer's interest, the question I'm interested in is what do you actually get for that charge, not necessarily what is just the charge itself.
And here's the problem, isn't it? That consumers find it increasingly difficult, perhaps, to understand the real price of something, the real value or the real cost of an investment then.
Yeah, well, let me give you an example. So if we take car insurance and price comparison websites when they first came into vogue were around getting, I want the cheapest price for my car insurance. You'd go in, you'd get the details and you'd find yourself you'd saved £100 or £200 or whatever it was. And now if you look at what they've done, what they'll often do is have a table of benefits. You know, what do you get for this premium? It might be the cheapest, but you haven't got X cover or your excess is Y now. And I think that's interesting. That to an extent will give the information to investors that will enable them to assess, is 1% a fair charge? Is £500 a fair charge? Is it 0.75? I think you just need to understand what you're getting for your money. In addition, a consumer probably with their advisor need to consider which aspects and benefits they're going to use and which ones they're being charged for. The issue with a percentage-based fee is you'll quite often have a lot of benefits included that you may or may not use, and making sure you choose the right product will be important.
And RDR, broader reforms more generally as well, have pushed that onus of responsibility onto the individual. How easy can they navigate this broader landscape there where they need to make a decision as to whether 1% is an appropriate price to pay?
Well, it goes back to financial education, but also I think this lends itself very easily into the advisor space. I mean, advisors have tools at their disposal already that will ascertain what different platforms will offer, what different SIPs or retirement products, ISAs, whatever, they'll have various tools that are available to them that can ascertain what is actually there and how much it costs for the client. So certainly if a client isn't comfortable to do it for themselves, they should certainly engage the services of an advisor, and that advisor will be able to take them through what they're actually getting for their money, but education will certainly be the key.
Okay, Paul, thanks very much indeed.